Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road, and you're ready to go if you want to. Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Best of Texas. Today we are with Jeremy, Rose City Draft House and Bar. Love the shirt, man. I love the graphics. Kudos to whoever did that for you. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
You bet, man. Thank you.
Jeremy, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up? Talk a little bit about your family and your career.
Sure. Man, I was born out in West Texas, Sweetwater. But in the 9th grade, my family ended up in Denton, Texas. Yep. And I ended up finishing school there, both high school and college. Graduated college, actually, it'll be 23 years in December. So it's been quite a while. But no, my family has called Denton, Texas home for quite some time now, and that, for all intents and purposes, is definitely home. Sorry, getting a phone call there. Sorry about that. But that's where we call home. I've actually been here in Tyler though for over 11 years now. I moved here in 2012. I opened up a restaurant out here, sold that in 2018, and have had the bar here in Tyler since 2015.
Okay, very good, very good. So let's go back to the beginning. You sold a restaurant, opened this bar. Talk a little bit about the vision. What started that for you?
When I got to town, there really weren't a ton of bars. If really, in terms of the traditional sense, most everything was tied to a restaurant, and just probably like a lot of people, I've always enjoyed bars. Yeah. When I was in college, I probably spent too much time in one as opposed to going to class, to my folks' chagrin, probably. But what can I say? I enjoyed it, and finally had the opportunity to do something I always wanted to do, which was open up a bar.
Okay, very, very cool. All right, well, listen, 3 questions that always help our listener learn more about your venue. What does it look like when you walk in the door?
You come in. I guess the best way to describe it, you'll see cedar slats around the walk-in, which makes up the center part of the bar. We got a pretty good rectangular bar itself, 3-sided. Probably the first thing you notice is our tap wall. We have 57 different beers on tap. Man. You'll notice a nice selection of whiskeys and tequilas also. But I think the thing you'll notice in here is just a pretty laid back, calm atmosphere. People really, it's never too loud in terms of the music. There's always plenty of buzz from the people that are in here as far as the talking and just conversation and in general bar atmosphere that you get, when the night's hopping.
Sure. All right. Now, this is going to be a little bit unique. When you walk in the door, and what do people smell? Like sometimes you can get an aroma of the hops, or maybe it's a bourbon, or but what do you hear, and what do you personally hear, and what do you smell when you walk in the door?
The most common thing that we hear from people who come in is how clean it smells. I'm a big fan of dive bars. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But I've always appreciated a place that at least made an effort to look like they've cleaned up. Yeah. I don't want to walk into a place most times that smells like stale beer. There's no smoking in Tyler, so that you're not going to smell that in here like you would maybe 25 or 30 years ago in a bar. But no, you're going to smell the nice, clean atmosphere. Probably the smell of Fabuloso if you're going to get it.
Yeah, no, I mean I think people are going to appreciate that as you go. Okay. Thirdly, what are you going to hear? You mentioned a lot of just bar atmosphere, chatter, and things like that. If there's music in the background, what kind of music? What are you going to hear?
It's always left up to the manager on duty. Okay. Excuse me. If I'm behind the bar, there's a really good chance you'll hear something like the Colt or Hall & Oates or Huey Lewis, something like that. Kind of laid back. During the day, I've got bartenders that anywhere from K-Flay to the Black Keys to the Struts. like the Sheepdogs also.
Right.
I've got a bartender manager at night who, you'll get some Jimi Hendrix, some Van Halen, really all kinds of stuff. It just depends on, and it kind of depends on the mood. I mean, we've come in here and had just, 2000s hits before, and nobody seemed to be too upset about that. It just depends on, like I say, it just depends on their mood. But typically something's going to be upbeat. Nothing too sad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Now you've been open a number of years. You survived COVID and different things like that. Why is this such a passion for you?
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, it's always something I wanted to do. I've, like a lot of people, have done different things. When I got out of college, I think, the very first job I had, the very first job I had out of college was rolling beer for Budweiser. I've done various sales. I've built houses. I've been a catastrophe claims adjuster.
Okay.
And I found myself back in the restaurant industry after 10 years out of it back in 2010. And I had an opportunity with that company to open up stores for them. And eventually I bought a franchise and I moved to Tyler, almost sight unseen. I'd never actually really been to town. I'd driven past it on I-20 before, but that's not even Tyler. But I didn't really want to leave Texas, and that was my opportunity. And it brought me here, and I'm glad it did, because a few years later I opened this place, and here we are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In your opinion, what do you think is the best part of your venue? What makes it unique?
Man, this is a place for everyone. And when I say that, I'm not going to let somebody be disrespected in here, and that includes my employees, but certainly my customers. You can behave yourself. It's not a problem. This is a public space, and it's not a problem, in my opinion, that behave like an adult and be respectful to people. And so people feel safe in here, and I like that.
Yeah. I gotta say, it's more and more that is unique. That is very rare and unique. All right, couple fun questions here. We've talked a little bit about your flavor and music, so I'm going to enjoy these questions. These are just for my personal interest because I tour around and I always just like to survey. So this is going to go in the book. What's the best concert you've ever seen?
Big venue or small venue or both?
I just think the one that stands out the most, like that maybe meant the most to you.
I'm going to give you two.
Okay.
The very first thing I ever saw was at the Texas State Fair in 1991.
Okay.
It was a free concert by the Kentucky Headhunters.
Oh, wow.
And they put on a hell of a show.
Yep.
And I remember a girl throwing a bra up on the stage. I was in the 9th grade, and that kind of tickled me.
Right.
But that was the first, really, I mean, other than like going to a dance or something, that was the first live venue I'd ever heard, or live show I'd ever seen.
Did it make you go home and start a band?
No, I don't. I don't have any musical abilities myself. But no, I mean, I thought, well, this is pretty damn cool. I like that, and of course, I'd heard of the Kentucky Headhunters.
Right.
But man, I was lucky enough back in actually about a year later, when I was a sophomore in high school, my brother and I went to Texas Stadium and we saw Guns N' Roses and Metallica on their tour. And that was actually one or two shows after Hetfield came back after he burned his arm in that pyrotechnic incident in Montreal. And man, it was just a fun show. They played for what seemed like 4 hours. That was back when Axl was a real jackass and pretty much acted that way. But we got probably a collective 60-minute / guitar solo, which was kind of badass. And then I'll give you one more. Okay. I'm a big fan of the Sheepdogs out of Saskatoon. And I saw them with Rival Sons about a year before the pandemic at Trees. I guess is what it was in Dallas. One of the Trees or Curtain Club. I think it's Trees. No, I don't know. I can't remember. They've all changed names. I don't think Curtain Club's been open for a while. That just dates me a little bit. But anyway, those were shows that stand out. I mean, hell, I went to that Metallica show at Jerry World back a couple weeks ago too.
Oh,
But,
very cool. Yeah.
wasn't quite as awesome as the first time I saw him.
Right. No, for sure. All right, dead or alive? Last question. Dead or alive? You get to see one musical act. Who would you see?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, that was quick and easy. Yeah, very good.
Easy. That or Hendrix, but I think I'd rather see Stevie just because my mother loved him so much.
Yeah, no, very good. Very good. Jeremy, what are the best ways for people to find out what's going on there at Rose City Draft House?
Sure.
You guys, website, social, what's better for you guys?
The socials typically, I'm putting stuff out almost daily about whatever's going on. I'll do it through the Instagram page, and it links to the Facebook business page. You know, we've always got there's always a good opportunity for a drink. Today, being Tuesday, you're talking about $1 off Dos Equis and $1 off all tequilas, but you have an opportunity for $2 off craft beer, $2 off Texas craft beer, depending on the day of the week. On the weekends, both days you're going to get an opportunity for $4 Deep Eddy vodkas, all flavors. I mean, there's always something going on. In fact, starting today, until we're out of them, just kind of as a celebration of Oktoberfest, all of our fest beers are going to be $3. So,
very good.
And then looking forward to, I guess, coming up with Halloween.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Best of Texas, guys. Rose City Draft House and Bar. Jeremy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go if you want to?